Hi, it's Mackenzie from the Brown Homestead. Welcome to another hands-on heritage craftsmanship episode. Follow along as we create a 21-foot-long traditional canvas floorcloth for the dining room of the John Brown House. Built in 1802 and the oldest surviving home in St. Catharines, Ontario. Here at the Brown Homestead, we are committed to not only practicing traditional craftsmanship in our adaptive reuse of our historic site, but sharing these skills as well. We also want to show how these techniques can be relevant and functional today, utilizing modern materials in some cases to serve our contemporary needs. Every aspect of the design of this custom-made floorcloth is intentional. In the colors, symbols, and patterns on its canvas, we're representing the families who have lived in the house over time, grounding the piece in the layered history of the space. Let's find out how we got here. Floorcloths, also known as oilcloths or painted canvas floor coverings, were a common and practical form of interior floor treatment in the 18th and 19th centuries, especially in Europe and North America. They provided a durable, easy-to-clean surface that helped protect floors, repel dirt and water, and retain warmth in cold months. Makers coated canvas with oil-based paint and varnish, allowing them to decorate the surface with faux marble or decorative motifs. Evidence in the floorboards of the John Brown House dining room suggested that a floorcloth had once been installed there. During earlier efforts to restore the house back in the 1980s, a floorcloth inspired by the decor trends of the early 1800s was made for the space, but it was removed in 2022 after the surface began to fail. This new floorcloth was created to replace it, this time created in a custom design reflecting the deeply rooted history of the house and the stories of families who lived here. The design was kept simple and grounded in the room itself. The central emblem is a white pine, representing the Haudenosaunee Indigenous connection to the land, acknowledging the generations of history that predates the house itself. Surrounding it are 4 symbols, each representing one of the families who have lived in this house over time. The Brown family, the United Empire Loyalist family, who settled the property, is represented by the crest of the Butler's Rangers, where John Brown served during the American Revolutionary War on the side of the British. The story of the Chalou family, the successful farmers who purchased the homestead as their second farming property in 1858, is symbolized with a bushel of wheat. The Powers family with an apple tree, as they expanded the orchards here after arriving in 1902. And a rose for the Jupian family, the last family to live within these walls and who began to restore the home in the 1980s. The green and ochre border colors were drawn from historic finishes found in the room, and the floral border mirrors the wall stenciling completed during the 2023 rehabilitation. This stencil was added to represent the Brown Homestead era of the house. The floorcloth was made using number 12 cotton duck canvas, selected for its durability and weight. Duck canvas is tightly woven and heavy, making it suitable for a surface that will be walked on and tacked directly to the floor. Traditionally, floorcloth canvas is stretched, sized, and oil primed by hand. Because the hearth measured 7 feet and most cotton duck is sold in narrower widths, we selected a pre-primed canvas to avoid extra seams. The canvas came pre-primed with 2 coats of gesso, eliminating the need for stretching and oil sizing. Pro tip, ensure you get your canvas on a roll to avoid creases. Once installed on the wall for painting, an additional base coat of acrylic paint was applied to establish a beige ground layer. Acrylic paints were used rather than traditional oil paints due to drying time, flexibility, and ease of handling. The backdrop was then painted to resemble dolomite limestone, the local stone to build the John Brown House. Dolomite has tones of gray and beige, which became the basis of the layered marbled finish across the surface. The marbling effect was achieved by taping a line down the center of my paint tray, where I pour my light gray in one side and my darker gray in the other. I add a bit of water to the paint to thin it out, so it applies more like a wash rather than a thick paint. You want to be very careful of how thick your paint is, so you're not applying too many thick layers over the canvas, because it will cause cracking over time. Okay, so the idea is you want to do some crisscross patterns to kind of allow for a mix. So you don't want to go too much, because if you do go too much, you end up blending it just to one color. So the idea would be to kind of do a few brush strokes and then move on to the next section. You can go back over once it's dried a little bit, just to be able to blend it a little more. And that helps to wet your brush again. So then that way you can carry the color across the canvas rather than just like getting it stuck in one spot once it's thick. If it is thick, it does tend to just stick in one spot. So yeah. That's the texture. So as you can see, I have the borders taped off. So basically we are going to have two green stripes and then one ochre border. Before applying the border color, it is important to brush the base layer over the taped edges to seal them. This prevents bleeding and creates a clean, sharp line. Once the backdrop and borders were complete, the stencil layout was projected onto the surface to establish the composition. The central white pine was painted first, anchoring the design. The family emblems followed, placed in the corners of the cloth. Finally, the floral border was stenciled inside the ochre band, echoing the wall stenciling in the dining room. Once the painting was complete, the entire floor cloth was sealed to protect the surface and prepare it for use. A high VOC varnish glazing medium was applied as the final coat. The slower drying time allows the varnish to self-level, resulting in a more even finish. After curing, the floor cloth was rolled up and taken back to the John Brown house to be installed in the dining room. Okay, we're here in the dining room of the John Brown house, and we're going to bring in the floor cloth that we made off-site. Basically, it's going to be in 3 parts, so we're going to have it come in and around beside the baseboards. There is a gap, about a 1 foot gap from baseboard to floor cloth, and we're going to pin it down, and it's going to go up and around the hearth. So the 3 parts are all going to be pinned separately, but it's going to work as one cloth. The floor cloth was laid in place and secured with traditional tacks around the edges. Beyond its design, each step of creating this piece was intentional. From the materials selected, the painting process, and finally its installation. While drawing on tradition, this floor cloth serves a contemporary function. We're not as concerned about conserving warmth and repelling dirt, though these are nice bonuses. Rather, the floor cloth helps us tell a story of the generations of families who have called this place home for over 225 years, and of the craft of floor cloth making itself. When visitors walk on its surface, they are grounded in the layers of history that surround them. Over months of planning and creation, we embraced a lot of uncertainty while determining how to make a floor cloth of this scale. And we drew on innovative thinking as we considered how our visitors would use the space and how this piece might wear over time. And now, by sharing our journey with you, we hope we've sparked your curiosity to learn more about the floor cloth making process. Check out an article on the Homestead Journal all about historic floor cloths. We'll link it in our description. Thanks for watching. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe, and also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for more heritage conservation and craftsmanship education.